Welcome to Mic'd Up Magic with Austin and Katelyn. You are listening to episode 9, our top 10 Hollywood Studios must-dos, where we will be discussing each of our top 10 things we like to do, eat, or see in Hollywood studios. We hope you enjoy.
Nice.
And we're back.
No.
Why?
We don't have to start like that. That's not what I say every time.
You have.
The last 2 times it's been you.
No, I said it with you last time.
You initiated the intro.
because I was waiting. I was anticipating you to do it.
No, but this one's gonna be fun because I think this is like 2 of our more favorite parks. Like Animal Kingdom is your favorite park, but Hollywood Studios just has a lot going on, and there's a lot of fun, exciting things. This one's like.
This is also the last one, finally, of these top 10. So I said to Austin, I'm like, I'm going to have to start coming up with more creative ideas now. We're through our top 10s. But I feel like this was a good way to start off the podcast anyways, to kind of share with you guys, our favorites. Yeah.
And then, like I said, there's a lot of good things to do at Hollywood Studios. So this one was like, even down like lower on the list, I'm like, these things are all so good. Well, not that the other parks were at the bottom of the list, the things were bad, but I think this one is just like, wow, like.
No, I was going to say, because I said to Austin before we started filming, like a couple hours before, I said, I want to say something, but I'm going to wait until like we're recording to say it. But I was going to say, subjectively, I think Hollywood Studios is the best park.
Yeah.
I think that let alone, like, it's not my favorite park, but like you said, like looking at all the things you can do and like trying to rank everything, like I had so many things in honorable mentions, and like truthfully, I cheated in a lot of these because I put like 2 things together. Like I was very like trying my best to get things into this top 10, because Hollywood Studios it's really like, it has so much stuff, which is so good, because for so long it was, that park that like always had construction, always had things that weren't fully set, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, even just since we've been going, like Toy Story, like Andy's Backyard, that was like new, and then Galaxy's Edge was just being built, and like so they've put a lot of money into it and like a lot of development. So like it's a good thing that it's kind of so successful, and that we do feel that way, because it was a big focus like for Disney for a while. So. Yeah.
I was gonna say too, the viewers of the podcast, the people who actually watch on YouTube, they really get to see us in our true form, because like right now I look like a wet dog because I just had a shower and my hair is so flat. But you also get the privilege of seeing my Sorcerer Mickey that I specifically wore for the Hollywood Studios Day.
This was
this is a new old item, because this was a Poshmark find. If you follow me on Instagram, I found this on Poshmark like a week ago, and it came in the mail on Friday. And it's a 25th anniversary Walt Disney World crew neck. It's all embroidered, like this huge decals all embroidered. It's stunning.
It's very
they don't make merch like this anymore. Anyway, that was my little thing I wanted to say.
Yep. And then on to our first subject of the day is the Disney news.
And I brought no news.
Oh, this is, I think, 3 episodes in a row I have brought news. I've been bringing
Not
news.
that I haven't. This is the first time I haven't brought news.
But you were, it was a trend early on where you were
I was always the one bringing the news.
Not having news, and here we go.
Go for it. Like, frick.
Okay, so we're going to start off with some not so good news, some negative news. Sad news, but is the passing of Richard Sherman. He is an OG musician, composer for the Walt Disney Company.
Wow.
Knew Walt personally. I was looking at this, and he worked on so much stuff. The best known songs in musical films, including Mary Poppins, Sword in the Stone, Jungle Book, Winnie the Pooh, Charlotte's Web. There was like and then there's a whole other list. And also, I think it was him and his brother. They were like both working together for most of these. And they actually wrote the song for Small World.
Oh,
it's a Small World after all. So that is like the biggest, I think, one of the lot. But
oh wait, I'm an idiot. You said it was the Sherman brothers. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No, they're in the Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Like, not documentary, but like that movie that they did.
Yeah.
What's that movie called?
Oh,
I could look it up, but I don't care.
So, I think he passed yesterday or the day before.
That's sad.
Very sad news. I was reading one thing where it said he was the last person that was allowed to play Walt's piano in like his office.
Wow.
Because I guess he would just go into Walt's office and Walt would just say like,
"Oh, that's sweet.
Start playing the piano, whatever." So, sad news in the Disney company.
Yeah.
So just wanted to mention that quickly.
Yeah.
But then moving on, they did previews for the new drone show at Disney Springs, and oh my goodness, without saying exactly when we're going, we are going to be missing the drone show, which is so sad.
Honestly, we're going to be missing the drone show by what will feel like milliseconds.
Yeah. Well, unless they extend it. We're hoping that they extend it, and it's just like the time that they set was just like a preview time, and it's going to go be popular, and then they're going to extend it because it looks incredible. I haven't watched very much of it, but I've seen a couple pictures, and then I watched maybe like a 10-second clip of it. But it's just it's insane what they can do with these drones.
Yeah, like if you didn't know or if you've missed it, basically like a lot of the overseas parks have been doing these drone shows, like part of their castle shows kind of. But basically it's just like these thousands of drones that they program to go up in the air, and there's music in the background, I believe. And like it just shows different pictures and whatever. I wasn't too like pressed about it. I was like, it's probably going to be cool, but like my radar wasn't very high for it. However, when I saw those first few videos of it, I was like, oh wow, this is going to be pretty cool. And the fact that it's at Disney Springs is such an asset because you can watch it without like for free, basically. Like, you know, you don't need to pay for a park ticket to go see it.
Yeah. And I think it's smart for Disney too, because of the fact that you can just go there without a park ticket. I think there's a lot of people who are vacationing to Florida who will go to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
If they're not necessarily want to spend the money to go to Disney, but they know about Disney Springs. So having something like that where people will go to Disney Springs, see the drone show and be like, oh my God, like I have to go to the parks.
Or it just kind of keeps people in Disney Springs longer, right? Like if, you know, people who are coming in for just their vacation and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to Disney Springs for a couple hours in the afternoon. They're like, oh, they do this drone show at 7:00. Well, we might as well stay. We might as well get a reservation somewhere. We might as well sit down and eat. We might as well do more shopping. You know, it keeps people in the area. So it's, again, at the end of the day, I think everything Disney does is a money move, but it's like, you know, don't be sad that you're getting like good benefits out of that. Yeah,
no, it's very it looks very cool. So we're hoping that it gets extended by a little bit.
Yeah, it's we all, get to see it. I was gonna say too, sorry about like what the actual show is. It's supposed to be all characters that fly or wish to fly or dream to fly. That's like all the characters that they show. So they have like everybody. Like it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So there's that, and then. Another development going on at on the boardwalk is the Cake Bake Shop. Did you see that the sign went up?
Oh no, I didn't.
The like sign for it like went on the building.
I don't pay attention to small little stuff like that.
So, well, this one's kind of interesting because they've been building it for a while. Yeah, like a while, and it got delayed. They have. But looking at like the concept art, and then like they have other shops, other places in the States. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to be like a table service place where you can have brunch, lunch, and dinner. And then there's also like the bakery side where you can just go in and like those bakery items look delicious.
Well, I feel like it's kind of going to be like the new Summer House on the Lake that just opened in Disney Springs, because it's a similar situation where it's like you have your restaurant, but then to the side they have their bakery where you can get all their cookies and stuff. So a similar vibe, which I like. Like I love a dessert, but I never want to sit in a restaurant for a dessert. Like I don't really like to spend that much extra time there. I'd rather just get up, go grab something, and then go. Yeah. So if that's what they're offering there, that's pretty nice.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I'm keeping you awake over here.
But yeah, so it's not like anything crazy going on, but that was just like a fun little thing I saw, and
nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of slow in the Disney news right now.
I think so, yeah.
At least the ones that we care about, because again, we're not giving you breaking news, we're just giving you stuff that we're interested in.
Interest us, yeah. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, let's jump into our top 10s. I feel like we're going to have a lot to say on these, so I feel like it's going to take a while.
It's possible.
Okay, number 10. Remember, these are the top 10s, okay? These are the best of the best. So, number 10 is not bad.
Oh, yeah.
My number 10 is Toy Story Midway Mania.
Nice.
And I put it here because I think this ride is awesome. This ride has stood the test of time for a really long time, because I remember when my mom and I went when I was 16, which is almost, oh my God, no, that That is 11 years ago. 11 years ago. Oh my God. So 11 years ago, I think this ride is like, maybe, I don't know, don't quote me, 13 years old. Like it was new.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much older than that.
It was new when we went, because I remember that was like the ride that we had to like run to get paper fast passes for, so that we could come back and ride it, because the line was just crazy. Anyways, it was really cool then. And again, 11 years later, it still holds up. It's so good now. I love it. I will say the queue, we've gotten some bad luck waiting in that queue. Like twice, I think 2 different occasions, we've waited in that queue for such a long time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why it takes so long for that queue to go through, but definitely don't jump in it if it's anything more than 45, because if it's 45, it's going to be like 75. Like it's crazy how long that line is. Yeah. It's crazy. But it's amazing. It's so fun. Your arms are so sore when you're done. It's fun. Yeah,
like I like because like if you go on Buzz, which is obviously like an older school style of the same type of ride, it's like the whole thing throughout is just the lasers. Like you're shooting the lasers at the little targets. Where when you ride Midway Mania, they make every room seem so different, even though you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it keeps it fun and it keeps it like interesting.
Also, like the 3D of that ride is really good. Like I'm surprised. I don't know if they've updated it since it's been done. Like I don't know, but the 3D is still really good. It's not like, PhilharMagic it's better now, but when you used to go into PhilharMagic, it was like everything, you were still seeing double regardless. So it was like, it's not like that with Toy Story. It's pretty good. It's fun. Yeah. Also, anytime those, like when you hit, when does the air pop out of you? Is it the balloons?
Yeah.
Or is it something else? Something happens where if you hit a certain target, something blows up or air comes in your face. Every time I scream. Every time. I know it's coming, and every time I still scream.
Yeah, and then it's fun too, because if you get into the weeds with it, like each room has like a little mini game.
Yeah.
Or like not a mini game. It's like an Easter egg where if you hit certain targets within a certain amount of time, or as they're going across the screen, like different things happen, and you can get like a whole bunch more points. So
which is really fun too, because it's like those little things that it's like, for the person that goes once a year, or like not once a year, the person that goes once in a lifetime or once every 5 years or whatever, they're just going to play it and enjoy it. But the people that go, once a year, a couple times a year, whatever, it's these little things that like it still keeps it entertaining and fun, and like not like you're like, oh, I do the same thing every time. It's like,
like
we've tried to do a couple of them and we literally still can't get it because it's so hard. But it's like,
or we don't get it every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for example, just because
we're on the topic.
Yeah, on the one where you're throwing the darts at the balloons, on the volcano, there's like these like S-shaped skinny balloons. If you hit all of those, then the volcano like erupts, and then it shoots out a whole bunch of different targets that you can hit.
Or the aliens, like the one where like there's like a spaceship and like the aliens pop up. If you can get the rings around the aliens all at the same time, the spaceship like takes off, and then
it's just like points like flying
crazy
everywhere.
Points everywhere. So stuff like that. It's just like fun little things,
Yeah. So, but yeah. No, we love at Midway Mania.
Yeah, it's good.
So my number 10 is the Frozen sing along.
See, that's not even on my list.
No.
Oh wow. I know. Like,
the Frozen sing along. It's great. It's fun. Like the two like hosts are always hilarious, and then like at the end when the snow's all falling and everything, like it's a fun and it's a good break.
I also always cry in that show. I just think it's so cute. A whole stadium. It's like a Taylor Swift stadium for Frozen sing along. No. Also, I love that I just called it a Taylor Swift stadium and not a football stadium. Anyway, it's like a theater of kids, like these little kids all just singing along to Frozen songs. It's literally adorable. Like it's so cute, and I always get teary eyed because it's so cute.
Yeah, and that's and it's a good like break if you're in the middle of the day, you want to go sit down, get out of the sun, whatever. Like,
yeah,
I feel like I've said that a lot about the shows, but it really is an important thing to think about because, like, when you're there and you're not thinking about
if you're not taking a break, if you're not taking midday breaks,
it's not something you really plan to think about. Like, oh, when you're sitting at home planning your trip, you're not like, oh, I'm going to want to sit down for half an hour. Like, no, you want to go, but you really need it. So having these entertaining shows that are fun and different, it's definitely a plus.
And Hollywood Studios really does have the most shows, I think.
It does have a lot.
In any park, I feel, I don't know, don't quote me, but I feel like they have the most shows. Like, they have a lot of shows, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Okay, my number 9 is Slinky Dog, specifically at nighttime. Yep, because I think seeing the lights of Toy Story Land at night is so fun, and then Slinky Dog at night is so fun. Oh, yeah. It just feels different. All the rides at night feel different, but like Slinky Dog at night is so fun. Like if you can get on that right before park close and get it like when it's dark, so fun.
Yep.
And I love Slinky Dog. I think it's a good roller coaster.
Oh, it is.
Like I think people kind of are like, oh, it's not worth it. I don't know. I think it is. It's hot to wait in that line for sure. Like
another reason why it's good at the end of the night.
Exactly. So yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. My number 9 is Midway Mania.
Nice. Okay, good. I wasn't sure if yours was going to be higher or not.
Yeah. Because how I do it is I kind of just write down the 10 things in order and then I maneuver them around as I need. And I had it a little bit higher at first when I wrote them down, but at the end of the day, it is just like a shooter, point getter game, right? So I don't know. We really enjoy it, but I just don't think it's worth like
the top spot.
The top of the list.
That's fair. Cool. Okay, my number 8 is Woody's Lunchbox.
Nice.
I did all my Toy Story ones at the same time.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do them that way, but I did.
Yep.
So Woody's Lunchbox is basically the theming of this. It's not a restaurant. It's a quick service restaurant. So, it's a walk-up window type deal. But basically it's themed as if, because again, you're in Andy's backyard, you're the size of a toy. It literally is a lunchbox, and then you go up and you're getting these types of meals that feel very lunch-like. So, you can get a grilled cheese sandwich with soup, or you can get, I think they have like a brisket something. You can get the tacos, which are the thing that we always get. I really don't stray from them because they just are so good. You can get the lunchbox tart, which we think is amazing. Some people may not think it's amazing, but we think it's amazing. Well, no, I don't think it's amazing, but it's good. It's a good treat.
Yeah.
You can get the grown-ups lemonade, which is like an alcoholic lemonade. We've never had it, but everybody says it's very, very good. You should get it. Anytime we eat there, it's too hot for me to even think about alcohol, so not on my radar. But yeah, it's so good. We eat there at least twice, honestly, every trip.
Probably twice,
I wouldn't even say at least once, at least twice we eat there, because you can get breakfast and lunch there.
Yep.
Both are just as good as the other. And yeah, the only reason I had it like a little bit lower, because there's like other food items that I have higher, is because I feel like the things you can get at Woody's Lunchbox, you can get other places.
Similar,
the idea of them, like you can get a grilled cheese somewhere, you can get tachos somewhere like else in the parks or at home, like you can make them at home type deal. I'll get into it, like the things higher on my list, it's like they're a little bit more specialty. So
got it. My number 8 is Slinky Dog Dash.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. We kind of already talked about it. It's super fun, cool roller coaster. It's short, which is I think maybe why it's not a little higher on the list. But the theming is on point. At night, it's so nice with the lights. We already said that.
I don't think Slinky Dog is short.
The characters all like intertwined in the ride is like really
they're
fun.
They're fun.
The queue sucks.
It's hot.
But yeah, no, there's not much else to say really.
But can we go back? Do you think Slinky Dog is short? Because I don't think it's short.
It's not long.
It has like a whole first and then second half.
Yeah.
Because then you do
you stop
and then you stop and then you go no.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think it's the same length as Seven Dwarfs?
No idea.
Seven Dwarfs is short.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how long it is.
I know. I'm just trying to.
The comparison. I have no idea.
I know it's hard to tell too, because Seven Dwarfs, you kind of go back into the mine and you slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you go through the little bit of a dark ride section.
Dig.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just don't ever think of Slinky Dog as a short roller coaster, but I guess it kind of is, but it doesn't really feel short to me.
I don't know. All right, maybe
Anyway.
it's not.
Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Maybe I'm just talking nonsense.
No, it's fine. I just was curious. Is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn.
7? Is that where we're on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are at the point where I mention this on every episode. Thank you. Of these top 10s. I love pin trading, okay? So I'm putting it in every spot, just different areas of every spot. Number 7 in Hollywood Studios for me is pin trading. It's a little bit lower on my list solely because there isn't as, this is not when like cast members had lanyards. This is just when there was boards out. So you can only go to certain places. But one thing, Galaxy's Edge does not do pin trading. They don't do pin trading on that planet. So there's no pin trading in that whole section. So a lot less pin trading that I feel like we end up doing because we do spend a lot of time in Galaxy's Edge, which is why it's a little bit lower on my list. And then also, I also just like kind of intertwine. This is one of those ones where I was like, oh, I like this, but then I'm also kind of throwing this in the mix. It's just wandering Hollywood Boulevard. Like I love just walking up Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. I think those are like the two that, you know, that go towards Tower of Terror and then like the main one. I just love wandering. I love the shops. I love the ambiance. I love the like theming of it. I love the sounds, whatever. So that's where most of your pin trading will happen. So that's also just like a fun thing. That's like really the only place I ever pin trade is on that little strip.
Yep.
Because the rest of the areas don't really have pin trading.
True.
Or a lot of pin trading, at least when we went there. Again, cast members have lanyards now, so it's different. But
no, yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Valid.
Fun.
My number 7 is Rock and Roller Coaster.
That is not on my list.
I knew that. I love a roller coaster, and that one is spectacular.
I love a roller coaster. I don't think it's spectacular.
It's pretty fun. What do you mean? The launch, you do a loop-de-loop. It's dark. You're zooming around everywhere.
I just don't like how my head feels like a little ping pong ball. I'm like.
Uh-oh. Ellie's
got herself in a pickle here.
Causing a scene on the windowsill.
Yeah.
But no, I very much enjoy that roller coaster, and I think it's fun.
Yeah. I'll do it if the party wants to do it. Our last trip, Heidi also didn't really want to do it, so we didn't end up doing it because I was fine to not do it, and then you and Brandon just didn't want to. Is that what it was?
I think we
didn't
just
really care to.
Whatever.
But yeah, like I don't know. I'll do it like once a trip if needed, but
yeah.
Other than that, it's just not my favorite.
That's fine.
I'm allowed to not like stuff.
I never said you weren't.
Number 6. Is that what we're on?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6 for me, which I think this is the first sit-down restaurant that I've included in any of these top 10s. It is 50's Primetime Cafe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we've only eaten here once. It was so fun. It was one of those restaurants where it's always been on my radar, but I've always been nervous because the way that people describe it is that the servers are rude to you. They're supposed to be, but like, they're like, the servers are rude to you. They'll call on you. They'll pick on you. They'll make you do stuff, blah, blah, blah. And that, as somebody who has like social anxiety, like basically, like, not to point you out too, but like the two of us have fairly, you know, similar social anxiety situations. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is have some guy call out on me if I'm trying to eat my dinner and like be rude to me and say, don't do that, don't have your elbows on the table, don't be on your phone, don't do that, whatever. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that? But on our last trip with Brandon and Heidi, they were like, we should eat here. And I'm like, okay. Like, I think they had eaten there before.
And Brandon had a coupon.
Hey, Brandon had a coupon, so we're like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
But it was so fun, and we really, really enjoyed it. Our server was like so good. He was just the perfect type of like he wasn't rude by any means. Like, he just was playful and fun, and it was so fun. It was not like it was not bad at all. There was one moment where like I pulled out a little toy that Austin had bought at Galaxy's Edge to show Brandon and Heidi, and he was like, "No toys at the table," and it was just like a funny moment. Like I never felt uncomfortable there at all. So if you feel like you're like, I really want to try 50s primetime, but I'm nervous about that aspect of it, it's really, really not that bad. Like, I would tell you if I felt uncomfortable at any point, and it really is not that bad. I guess they used to be worse, like years ago. They used to actually be like pretty mean to you, but it's really not that bad. But it's like the coolest theming of a restaurant where basically you walk in and you're like kind of transported back to the 50s, and you're like I think it's supposed to be like you're in mom's kitchen type of deal, mom's house or whatever, and then every area where there's seating is like a different spot in the house, and then the things you're served are like these classic American type meals in the 50s. It's like chicken pot pie, pot roast, roast beef, I don't know, all this kind of stuff.
And it was very good food.
It was really good. And I was also nervous because, again, we were there in the peak of summer. I was like, oh my gosh, am I really going to be able to eat like a chicken pot pie like in the 100-degree weather or whatever it is when we're there? And it really was not like I fully was able to eat it. Like, it was so good. It was very good. So highly recommend. Very good. They also, have the peanut butter and jelly milkshake there, which is amazing. So good.
That had been on your list for literally since the first time we went there.
Yeah.
So yeah. No.
So good.
Very good one. Not on my list, but very good one. My number 6 is the characters at Galaxy's Edge. Yes. So we're getting into the Star Wars aspect of Hollywood Studios. So first of all, Galaxy's Edge as a whole is just so cool. And I was going to put like Galaxy's Edge, I was going to put the characters, like I didn't want to go too broad.
Don't worry. My honorable mentions I have on here quite literally is everything in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. So I put the characters because like that is just such a cool thing, whether it's the stormtroopers walking around or Rey and Chewie or the droids that they have now. Like sometimes there's droids moving around, Mando now, with
Kylo.
With Grogu, Kylo. Like it's just so cool how immersive the land is in itself, and then having the characters to walk around too and like play their part. Like it's really cool.
Galaxy's Edge is amazing. You really could spend like 2 hours there, like doing all your Hollywood. Doing all your Star Wars stuff. Yeah. And then when you go to leave, it's kind of jarring. Like you're almost like, God, I forgot I was in Hollywood Studios. Like it really makes you feel that way. It's crazy how well they immerse you in that land.
So I think the characters just add a lot to it. If you get the chance to see them walking around, interacting with guests or just doing whatever, even if it's like Kylo doing his show at his ship, like all of it, or Rey with the over by the garage when she's like working on the ships. It's just cool. It just adds so much to it, and there already is so much to it where it's so much fun.
I will say just quickly, if you've never been, there's no like actual meet and greet spots in Galaxy's Edge. It's only roaming characters. So there's no like, line you can get in to meet them, like how you could go and meet Mickey and Minnie, for example. Like you have to just kind of luck out to see them. There's a spot in Hollywood Studios that's like on the other side of the park that you can meet a couple characters, but just, for the people that don't know. But yeah, the roaming characters are very cool. It's a very cool aspect. They do that in Disneyland. Like all the characters there are roaming, I believe. Or not all of them, but a lot of them roam. And I just love it. It's a very cool thing that they have.
Yeah.
That they implemented.
Yep.
Nice. All right. My number 5 also is getting into my Star Wars items.
Nice.
I have 2 things here that I kind of put in the same area because I feel like when we get them basically like we always get both.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to
go for it.
I'm trying to justify putting 2 random things together, but I said the Rancho wraps and blue milk.
Okay. Fair.
Because when we go, we get both of like there's never a time where I don't get a Rancho wrap that I get a blue milk, or don't get blue milk when I get a Rancho wrap. Not at the same time, but like in a day.
It's fine. You don't just continue. You're good.
They're just all so good. But yeah, so the Ronto wrap is basically, it's a pita wrap. They have a coleslaw of sorts. And then it's like this big juicy sausage that they have in this wrap. They have cheese, and then they have this, like, I don't know what kind of what kind of sauce it is. It feels like it's like a mayo, peppercorn, ranch type based. I don't know. It's freaking good. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the lunch, and then they also have breakfast where they have actually like egg and cheese and sausage. Both are incredible. Like, my mouth is watering thinking of these items. Like, they are just so good. They also have, I think it's, don't quote me if it's vegan or vegetarian, but either the way, they have a plant option for people who don't eat meat, which we've never tried, but I'm excited to try because we will be trying on this upcoming trip, because I am sure that Austin's sister will get one when we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so good. It's like, I dream of that meal. And it's so simple. It's literally just a sausage. And we were saying the other day, I don't even like sausages that much. Yeah. Like, it's so good.
But that one, they do it right.
They do it right. It's like the perfect size, I think. Because sometimes sausages can be way too big and then it's just too much meat. Yeah. But like this, perfect. Perfect amount. Nice. So good. So good.
Agreed.
I could have 10 of them.
Yep.
Not actually, but
definitely a few.
The flavor of them. Yeah.
Okay. My number 5 is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That ride is very fun and cool. As long as you don't get in the outside queue, the queue is fine.
Yeah.
If you're outside, that's a bad one.
It'd be a scorcher. Because you're right in the middle of tarmac, basically. Like, the blacktop, sun down, not good. They have some umbrellas out there, but that doesn't help. Doesn't really do much for you.
I love the pre-show with the cartoon. That is so cool. I always remember the first like 2 or 3 times we rode it. We were like, the first time, obviously, you don't know what's happening at the end of the cartoon.
And we were shocked.
And then the like second and third time, we're like, how do they do that?
Like,
we're trying to look at it and like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But that's fun. And then when you go in, it's cool how it changes into like that railroad system thing.
Yeah.
And then the first time we rode the actual ride, we get, I don't know, well, you knew.
No, because remember what happened was we were in line.
Oh, and I thought that it was.
I'm like, I think this is a trackless ride. And then Austin was like, oh, cool. So then we get up to like where you go to load on the vehicle, and it comes in as a train. Yeah. And I turned around to Austin. I said, oh, I guess I was wrong. Never mind. And Austin's like, oh, okay. So then anyways, sorry, you can, I was going to say, you can continue what you were going to say.
No. Oh, no. And so we were like, oh, it's must be on a track. And then you go around the corner and then Goofy splits off and everything crazy starts happening. And we were like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was fun.
But then that one's so cool. All the different scenes and like the fair, and then there's like the underwater scene and the dancing scene, and
that ride, I don't think I laugh more on a ride than I laugh on that ride. Like that ride is so fun. I think it's amazing. Like, I never rode Great Movie Ride, to be honest, because like my family never really cared about going on it. We were more like, we don't really care to go through that kind of ride. So I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to, but I feel like the majority of people really do. Like, they're sad to see Great Movie Ride go, but I feel like a lot of people are very happy with Mickey and Minnie's. Like, it was a good one to put in there to change it up.
Yep.
Nice. What number am I on?
4.
4? Okay, my 4 was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway.
Oh, nice.
So, I was pretty sure it was the next one. My phone locked. It's just so good. It's a great ride. I love it. Have to ride it at least once every time we're in Hollywood Studios. Not even once a trip. Once every time we're in Hollywood Studios.
Agreed.
It's so good.
Yep. My number 4 is food, which I put in brackets. I would put 2 items. One is the Ronto wrap, and the other is Woody's lunchbox. So you have already talked about both of those.
That's so funny. You said food and then put it in brackets.
Yeah, because I didn't want to take up the whole list with like Ronto wrap and then tachos. Like, I don't know. Guess. But no, those 2, again, you said it. We get those things every time we go to Hollywood Studios. Yeah. At least one of them we will get, I feel like, every time.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We always switch it up. So the one day we'll go and we'll get Woody's for breakfast, and then we'll get Ronto wraps for lunch. And then the next time we'll go, we'll get Ronto wraps for breakfast and then Woody's for lunch.
Yeah. So no, it's no complaints.
No complaints at Hollywood Studios for food.
Nope.
Like, genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so good. All right. My number 3. We're getting into the top 3, baby.
Yep. I think our top 3 are the same.
Do you think in the same order, too?
I don't think... maybe not in the same order, but I think they're the same 3 things. My
number 3 is the Tower of Terror.
That's my number 3 as well.
Oh, gosh. Maybe they are in the same order, then. Yeah. Tower of Terror. It is so good. Like, it really is one of, like, I think it is my, like, as of right now, because Splash is closed and, like, we're waiting for Tiana's to open, I think Tower of Terror is my favorite ride. Like, it is so much fun. I will just always remember the first trip I ever went on, we didn't do Tower of Terror because I was too scared. I wasn't too small physically, but, you know, mentally, I was a little girl. I was like, I can't do that. My dad's like, come on. I'm like, I can't. So we didn't do it then. And then when I went again with my mom when I was 16, my mom and I both had never done it. So we were like, okay, let's just do it, whatever. So we get on this ride. We think it's just literally going to be, you know, the classic up and down. And again, I don't want to... It's more so for your sister. I don't want to spoil it for her if she's listening. Yeah. Katelyn, fast forward. I just remember like the first time, so we get on and you kind of go up, you know, your first little bit and we're like, okay, whatever. They show you your little show and then you go up again. And then when you start to move, we were like, my mom and I were both like, what the heck is going on? And then your first time you go down and then it starts shooting you back up. We were like, what the heck? And my mom and I both do not like drop rides. We don't like drop rides. And after we got off that ride, we were like, we have to ride that again. Like, that was so good. And my mom and I rode it. I'm pretty sure we rode it 3 times in a row. Like, we were like, that is so much fun. And just like every time we ride it now, like, it's so much fun.
Yeah. And like, just looking at the building, the queue is cool.
Yeah. I hope they never change it.
Everything about it is just so, it's just so unique and fun. And
there also is no more fun feeling in Disney World than when you are in the middle of the ride sequence, when you're going up and then they bring you down and you are floating.
Yeah.
Like, it is literally just the seatbelt strap that is holding you down in the air, but holding you for like a solid 5 seconds. You're like, what?
Feels like it, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so much fun. I love it. I love it so much. That is one of the rides that I cannot wait. I literally told Austin's sister, I said, if you can refrain from riding the Tower of Terror when you go to Paris, because I want to be with you to experience it the first time with you.
Yeah.
Because it's not that much different in Paris. So I was like, I felt okay to tell her, don't ride it when you're there.
Yeah.
Because it's really just the thing. But I think she's also excited because if she would have wrote it there, it would have all been in French. So she wouldn't have understood like the story behind it. She would have kinda, but you know, it'll be fun to see her reaction the first time.
Yep.
I'm excited.
10 out of 10 attraction.
Yeah, so good. So that was your number 3?
Yes.
Okay, you want to say your number 2 since we kind of...
Doesn't matter. Either, whatever. I can do it. You can do it.
You say it.
Okay. My number 2 is Fantasmic.
Fantasmic.
Oh my, this show. So I feel like the last time we saw it.
So hey, can I start with like my first experience?
Sure.
No. As a kid. No, but then we'll flip to ours. The time we went together.
Go for it.
As a kid, we went and did this show, and I remember loving it as a kid. And I remember being like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good. Loved it as a kid. It was my favorite show as a kid. Okay. Fast forward to when Austin and I go together for the first time. Now you can go.
What? You're telling a story.
Well, you're going to fill it in here.
Okay. All right. The first time we went, like, it was good, but we weren't like blown away.
Because we got sat in the first, 3 rows, which
it was windy.
Our fault. It was so windy. It was like, it wasn't just a splash zone. You were underwater. When you were watching that show. And it was just like, we literally couldn't see. Like, we literally had to be like this watching the like we couldn't even watch the show because of the wind from the like the water screens that they do. Yeah. So after that, I was kind of like dang, like I really thought this was a great show, and like I'm kind of disappointed or whatever. And then Austin, like that was his only experience with it, so he was like, yeah, like it wasn't really that great. So then we kind of like didn't do it for the next trip, and then COVID happened, and then they got rid of it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And then we watched it again for the first time on our last trip.
Which also they did add and change.
Oh yeah, they changed it a bit. But like, you know, we watched it for the first time and we actually had good seats. We were back. We didn't have, you know, water in our face all the time. And it was amazing. It was so good. And I'm so happy because I was like, I feel like my childhood is like alive because I remember loving this show.
Yeah.
But it's, So if you take any advice from us, if it's at all windy, do not sit in the first 3 rows.
Yeah.
Don't.
Just move back a little bit.
Yeah, just move back. You'll enjoy it so much more.
But no, the song, the whole, everything about it, it's so much fun.
It's so
good. It's just fun.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good show. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it since it came back and since the new changes, even if you did enjoy it before then, definitely go back and see it because the additions that they made and how they worked it all in, it's so cool.
Yeah. Okay, sorry viewers if there's a difference in the camera. Our battery just almost died, so.
Yes.
Okay. Is that all we had to say for Fantasmic?
Yeah.
That it's amazing and great and we love it so much?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, the number 1 spot on the must-dos is, drum roll please, Rise of the Resistance.
I can't believe we had the same top 3. That's so fun. I absolutely love this thing. This attraction is 10 out of 10. The queue is really cool. You go inside and you're in the tunnels. You think and there's like all the like little memorabilia and different like areas around. You see all like the cool stuff. Ray, BB-8, the ship, mind blown the first time you're on that ship and you get captured.
Yeah.
Stormtrooper room is like something you couldn't even imagine is real when you see it. And then like when you go into right before you go on the ride, when they like split you off and put you on like your little colors and everything, like that's so cool how they're like all dressed as Imperials and like you really feel like you're in an Imperial ship. Like the immersive, I'm gonna say immersiveness again about Galaxy's Edge, but it's so immersive. Like the way everything just looks so on point.
Yeah,
to what you imagine it would look like.
That's exactly what it is. It's like again, like what we said, like you know, you leave there and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm leaving a planet. You know, you're it's kind of jarring. It is. It's just they really. Disney, I think, really could win like awards for, you know, this like new type of immersiveness that they have made in making Galaxy's Edge because it really is. It makes you feel like you're in these movies and shows, and I think it really does help that obviously Star Wars has such a huge like, you know, a huge pot that they could pick from, but like to create really like they created this planet so that they did have this extra little bit of like leeway to do what they could. And it's just so cool. I just feel like Rise of the Resistance is just this experience. It's not even a ride. It's an experience that is just on a different level than any other type of ride you can do. Like it really is.
Like my rundown I was just going through, I didn't even get to the ride yet.
No, that was all your lead up.
Yeah. Like you like people talk about like best ride at Disney World, whatever. Okay, Cosmic Rewind is the best ride.
Roller coaster.
The best ride. Cosmic Rewind is the best ride.
Yeah.
But the best experience?
Yeah.
The best attraction?
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
No, I agree.
From the like, okay, it's cool. Cosmic Rewind. There's a ship out front. Kind of cool. You go inside. Like that room is the spiral room with like the walkways. Pretty cool. Then you go and you see the characters like talking to you about the mission, whatever. Kind of cool. Pre-shows.
I mean, don't say it's kind of cool. Like they're cool.
Yeah, pre-shows are cool. Like right, like it's all like cool, fun.
Yeah.
But like Rise is just a whole nother ball game. Yeah, it's a whole.
Well, already like, you're in the world. Like I just think when you're going into Guardians, it's like, you know, you can see Spaceship Earth as you're walking into the Guardians room, right?
You can see that big ass building.
Yeah, that's true too. You know it's going to be huge.
Rise, you're like, you don't even know, you have no idea what you're getting into.
Yeah. This is so true because it's all in the mountains.
Yeah. And like I said, Cosmic Rewind, you can see the show building from France.
Yeah, literally.
Like, so it's just it's crazy that the Rise will never cease to amaze me.
Yeah, it's very good. It's amazing. It's
And,
worth it forever.
I feel like we talked about this already before. Did we talk about Rise on the podcast before?
I don't know.
I feel like we have, but I'm going to say it again. Like, one of the coolest parts about it that I always think of is like when after they discover that you're escaping, when they start shooting at you when you're on the ride and like the walls are like disintegrating and like you can see like the laser marks in the walls all around you and like the sounds are so good and like it's just so you're terrified. Like you really are scared.
Well, that was the first time we rode it. I didn't even notice the walls. I didn't notice the walls. I didn't notice when there was like certain like chunks of area that would like just disappear. Like I didn't even notice that. And then Austin told me the second time we rode it, he said, watch when they're shooting, like watch where they're shooting. And I was just like obviously it's technologies, but I'm just like, how are they how can they do that? That's so, and just the detail, like they didn't need to.
Yeah.
Like they did not need to put that kind of stuff in there.
It could have just been screens and laser and then you see the light and then that's it. An image of like
an explosion or something. It's crazy.
Which,
it's so
again,
cool.
I know that's what it is. Like it just is an image of an explosion.
I know, but the way they make it look is insane.
Yeah. And then like just everything about it. Like even when you're like the part when you come around the corner and then Kylo and Hux are like on top on the bridge and you can like see out and you're like on the Star Destroyer. Like it's just so cool.
And even as somebody, like even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you will still think it's cool because it's enough. It's a small enough of a plot point that they make for you that you understand what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you're like, you have to have all this Star Wars knowledge to be able to understand. Like they lay it out very well for you. Yeah. All the pre-shows, listen to what they're saying and you will very easily understand what's going on. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's not like you're like, oh, what the heck? Like sometimes with Guardians, when they're talking about the cosmic generator and the this and this, sometimes I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like I'm so confused. But it's like
the big guy stole the
that's all you really know. It's like So I just think with Rise of the Resistance, it's like it's just cool.
No, like it's 10 out of 10.
It's amazing.
I think that's the best way. The way I said it before, how Guardians is the best ride and Rise is the best attraction as a whole. Yeah, that's simple as that. Anyone who disagrees, come at me.
I would agree with you, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I did have a little honorable mention, though, that I wanted to throw out there. So I feel like this does deserve a spot on the top 10. However, it really is just for the Star Wars fans. So that's why I didn't put it on here, being like, if you're genuinely listening to this and being like, okay, I'm only going to Hollywood Studios once. What are the top 10 things I need to do? This isn't just for the, average person. I think if you are a Star Wars fan, you have to build a lightsaber at Savi's workshop. Yeah. Like you have to. It easily is a top 10 item. It is a high price point to do it, but I think it is worth it. I think it is so incredibly cool and immersive, and it's just like this experience that you're just going to remember honestly forever. It is so cool and fun, and I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I mean. Like it deserves a spot on the top 10. It's just like,
but not for everyone.
Not for everybody. But if you are a Star Wars fan to any capacity, like you have to.
Yep.
Like even Austin's sister, she's only seen she's seen the original like 6 movies, but we're watching with her the sequels. And she already, before we even started watching the sequel, she was like, well, I'm getting a lightsaber when I go. Yeah. Like you just, if you're a Star Wars fan to any capacity, it's amazing.
I would say an honorable mention is anything else in Galaxy's Edge I didn't talk about really. Yeah. Especially for me, because I'm such a Star Wars guy. Smuggler's Run is cool. It's fun if you're a pilot.
It's fun. Yeah. And it's
if you're a pilot or if you're with a group. Because you don't have to be the pilot if you're with a group, because then it's just fun because you're with a group.
Yeah, if you know the people who are piloting, it's funny.
And this is as far as the actual ride, because with that one, everything before the actual ride is cool. Like, that stuff is all cool. Out, like, having the Millennium Falcon outside, and you get to go and you walk around it and you get to see it from all these different angles, and then you go in and...
But that is where it's more of a Star Wars fan that would appreciate it.
Yes.
Because Rise, you can just go in and not really know what's going on, but like still enjoy it and still appreciate it. The Star Wars fan is the one that's like, when you're going on Smuggler's Run, like you're geeking out because
you
you're
see
like,
Hondo
oh
and you're
my
like,
gosh. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not a Star Wars fan, you're not going to have it. Like,
exactly. You're like, oh, it's just this
guy.
alien man.
Yeah. And then even like when you walk into the Millennium Falcon right before you get on the ride, when you're in like the main area of it, like there's the chess table and there's like these
Luke's helmet's like hidden over in the corner, and like there's porg nests.
There's like all these things that if you're a fan, you really get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
But then as far as the ride, like I said, like if you're a pilot, it's fun and it's cool no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you're not a pilot and you're not with a group, then you're kind of like, this could have been better.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, for sure.
But so there's that one, and then like Oga's is really cool.
Oh my gosh,
we love Oga's.
Is so fun.
Yeah, like it's again,
it really
it's
is just everything in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, and then the shops are cool too. Like,
just
like all the shops are just so unique, which makes them really really fun and cool.
Yeah.
But literally everything.
But those are all honorable mentions because we know, like, we are Star Wars fans, so of course we're gonna love everything that's in there. But you know, it is very cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Do you have any
other points you'd like to touch on, or any other attractions?
No, that was all of it. Again, just to kind of drive the point home, I really do think that Hollywood Studios is the best overall park in Disney World. Yeah. Like, I think there is just the most, especially for older people, like not older people, but like, you know, young kids. Not that they're not going to enjoy it, but like Magic Kingdom is probably the best spot for them because there's way more, you know, mild attractions, slow, dark rides, whatever. But like Hollywood Studios for, you know, your preteens, your teens, your adults, whatever, like it's the place to be. It's so good.
Yeah, and the things that we didn't mention, that does not mean that they're not good. No. Like the Beauty and the Beast show is like it's a really good show.
Indiana Jones is so good.
Yeah. Muppets is a good snooze fest.
Oh no, I love the Muppets, okay? The Muppet Show is so good.
Star Tours, we'll have to see with these new with the new scenes that they made, whatever. I'm trying to think of the word for it.
Sorry, couldn't.
But Star Tours, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be cool when there's the Ahsoka ones. Like, obviously it's going to be cool. Yeah. So just because we didn't mention it, that does not mean that it is not a good attraction. Yeah. Alien Swirling Saucers.
I know.
It's not bad.
You got to relax though, because none of the other parks we did this for, and I would say you could say this stuff for all the other parks too.
Oh, you could 100%.
You're giving Hollywood Studios here a little bit extra love that it doesn't need. It already got lots of love.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. If you would like to find us anywhere else, you can find us on Instagram. The podcast is at Mic'd Up Magic Podcast, and our personal Instagrams are at Magically Katelyn and at Magically Aussie. Again, if you are just listening to this podcast and you would like to watch the podcast, all of our podcast episodes are on my YouTube channel, which is Magically Katelyn, and you can listen to any of these episodes on Apple and Spotify podcasts.
That is correct.
Did I get everything?
You nailed it.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys again so much for listening. We hope you enjoy. We will chat with you all in the next episode. Yep. And we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.